So we take off the grab handles to make a start on this one. Taking off the grab handles is quite simple, but it's just the bracket that's behind the grab handle that can make it a bit more of an issue, because sometimes on these cars, on the Volkswagen models, they can have like a little rectangular metal piece that falls out, and that's pretty much, it's like a nut. It's where the screw goes through, and other models might have just a fixed little metal bracket so they never shift or move out of place. But on this one that we're working on today, it has got that little rectangular metal bracket that's inside behind the grab handle, so it's actually behind the plastic bracket that's between the two. And they can fall out of place or shift or be very difficult on the reinstallation section as well. So we have got that today, so hopefully we'll guide you through and make your job more easier. So I like to do these ones by hand, just so you can get a better feel of where the screw's going and you're not going to accidentally, say, round it or go into the section where it's not meant to be or bust the brackets from behind. So yeah, we don't do them by the power drill, just by hand. They are a T20 Torx head screw, so you're going to need that piece as well to remove those screws. You just pop off those two flaps that are hiding the screw. You just get in there maybe with a flathead screwdriver or like a little upholstery skewer, just to pop those flaps down to get access to those screws. And you want to remove them all the way. They actually are quite a long screw, but if you don't take them all the way out and you go to shift the handle away from the headlining and say it's still gripped onto the bracket where it's got to go, you can shift that little metal bracket inside. And that's what we're preferably not to try to do, because we want to try to keep the brackets and all the stuff behind the grab handle in location. So you can see how we're holding the grab handle up firm to where it's got to be seated, taking the screw completely out before we even start to drop down these grab handles. By doing these steps, you're going to actually prevent pretty much less work on the installation phase of the other side of things. So majority of the time, those little plastic brackets do stay seated where they are, but if they do drop down, you can actually plug them back into place. You can see there that those little rectangular clips behind those brackets are still in place, which is ideal. So definitely much more involved than just say a usual Commodore or a Falcon, where all you got to do is put the roof lining back up, put a screw in, and you're done. So so much more involved in the Volkswagens or most European makes and all those type of things. So yeah, these ones can be quite fiddly, especially with the car that we're working on today, because it has got those little metal brackets that are in where the screws have got to go through, and sometimes those little rectangle metal brackets, little tabs kind of fall out of place when you go to push it up and load in the screws into position. So anyway, but you can see here, see how that tab's in location, and if you just push that board up, that screw is going to line up exactly with the center of that little tab, that little screw. And yeah, that's how you do these cars. I like to do the sun visors first, because if the sun visors are all lined up and they all go in perfectly, and I haven't budged the grab handle little metal tabs behind the grab handles themselves, everything should line up really nice and neat. So yeah, I like to start with the hardest ones first, and I find the hardest ones to put in would be the sun visors. But yeah, this is doing it this way though. There are a couple of other ways you can go about doing it. So this is more or less the way of I guess not replacing those little metal clips, because yeah, taking them out you could damage them, and if you damage them you got to replace them. The grab handles have a couple of locators, and it's where like that little plastic feeds in, and I like to put these in before the screws, so don't put the screws in yet. You just want to plug it into location so it kind of grips itself. Because if you put the screw in, say like that, and then you plug in the grab handle itself, the little screw might push the little tab out of place. So get it all located first, all pushed in and aligned, and then put the screws in. And you can see here that they went in really nice and easy. We just did it in one shot. You kind of want to do it in one shot, because as soon as that little screw goes through, you're going to push the little tab out of place. And yeah, if you take the screw back out, you may potentially, that little metal tab might fall out of place and fall inside the roof lining or the inside of the actual roof itself. So try to do it in one shot like we just did then, and you shouldn't have any dramas at all.